Don't shoot, angel, don't shoot,
I hope you got footage of that, right? Yeah. Because basically, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about how people rally and stuff like this. If you pay attention, the song might have sounded great, but look at the people who's actually doing the music. It's an Irish band who's playing that they're here to support us, right? But they really here to just get this crowd right here around them, focusing on them. That's not what this is about. But I digress, and at least they're here, I guess, for positivity. By the way, my name is Avery Du Bois, representing that War Child YBS. In case you already know, we down here at the Black Lives Matter police brutality rally, trying to end this bullshit that we got going on. Rest in peace to all the fallen soldiers who died of police brutality. And I guess we're gonna keep it moving right now. We got War Child behind the cameras. I don't know, let's keep it rocking, man. That's all I got to say right now. So basically, yeah, I'm Avery Du Bois. This is my boy right here, War Child, this Furious J. And so we just I'm getting questions, trying to figure out how people supporting. I see that you're here, obviously supporting the Black Lives Matter police brutality rally. Personally, I'm not necessarily just saying it's Black Lives Matter to be all lives matter, but in this case, it is about Black lives.
I mean, what I would say is, police brutality is something that affects all of us.
Yeah.
I think it's disproportionately higher in African American communities, but there have been a number of cases where, Caucasians have been killed by police.
That's true.
It's not uncommon for, Caucasians to be beaten up by police either. I think that this is part of a development in the state where the ruling elite, the big capitalists, the CIA and large intelligence apparatuses see the entire population of the world as a threat, and that they're really attacking all of us when they do this.
Now, one thing I do have to say, and that's the reason why I'm doing this, why I'm trying to do this, and I'm asking questions, because one thing that I have noticed, I've been doing rallies for a while now, right? And one thing that I noticed that a lot of times when I go to rallies, a lot of people seem to, not to say push it under the rug, but basically your statement is not, I'm not going to say your statement is false. Your statement is not false by any means. But one thing that people seem to overlook is the fact that even though there's police brutality against all of us, which I don't deny that, the one constant thing is that it's rare that a white man is going to be fearful of his life with a black officer as it is to a black man being fearful of the life of any officer. Like some people, they just equate it to, now one thing with me, I don't consider it just to be a race thing. I consider it to be a system thing. Because there's black cops that are not bad, that are bad, just as they're a white cop, they're bad. So I don't believe it's just a white cop thing, you know what I mean? But that's the way I feel on it. Now, I'm not sure how you feel, but I do see that you have some World Socialist website, torture, police killings, and militarization of America. And basically, I was just asking you if you want to give us a little piece on what this is about.
Okay, I mean, that article is particularly about sort of the broader issue of the attack on democratic rights. It hasn't really been mentioned by anybody other than the World Socialist website at this protest, but it recently came out that, while we knew that the CIA had tortured people, there was a number of specifics that were released in a somewhat edited report by the Senate. And from a legal standpoint, people who commit torture should get a minimum of 20 years imprisonment. And the reaction of the justice system of the ruling establishment in America is nobody's going to trial. And what we're saying is what's very clear is that more and more there's two sets of laws. Wall Street ruins the economy with illegal practices, nobody goes to jail. CIA tortures people, nobody goes to jail. Cops kill people, unarmed people, use excessive force, nobody goes to jail, nobody gets fined. If any of us even committed a minor crime, that wouldn't happen. In many cases, I think without committing a minor crime, as you can see a lot in police brutality, you can still get horribly, maimed, can end up in jail for a long periods of time. What's happening is, there's a collapse of democracy. And what we're saying is that that's part of the level of economic inequality. The Al Sharptons, the Jesse Jacksons, they don't have to worry about this.
We don't care about those people anyway. But now, as far as that, now, and supporting this and supporting the movement that this is here for, what is it that you guys will be doing as far as to help push an agenda or push legislation to try to help stop this police brutality abroad? Like, I understand what you're talking about there, but like I say, us being a people of color, and unfortunately I hate to say it like that, but it is what it is because we're the ones that have to deal with this situation on a daily basis. Once I leave this, I'm going to help go home, and the 44th precinct is going to fuck with me. Yeah, guarantee you that. So we're trying to figure out what it is that people are trying to bring toward our movement as opposed to just bringing their movement in with ours, because that's how we get lost. That's exactly how we get lost.
What I'm saying is that there needs to be a new way of struggling, a new way of organizing.
I understand that.
And that's what we're saying. If I was struggling for this or that legislation, I would have to say, oh, well, you can pressure the Democrats and Republicans. I think the answer about pressuring the system was exposed very clearly in Ferguson. When you try and pressure the system cracks down on you harder and harder. We need a new system. We need to take up the struggle for socialism, which is a struggle a big part of that struggle is to understand why it's gotten this way, why so long after the civil rights movement these things still happen. And really it's a fight to unite the entire working class under the struggle for equality. Equality under the law and economic equality. And that's what we're fighting for.
This is how you do it. You keep the energy, the spirit with the crowd, with the people. That's how you do it. When you see black people doing music for a rally like this. Not how the high people was doing it. So black people do it, they keep the energy and the spirit with the people, baby. Yes. I'm looking at the wrong justice right now. we give a fuck about them when they don't give a fuck about us? Why should we give a fuck about them when they don't give a fuck about us, baby? Let's go for the people. End this system, baby. To be honest with you, the only thing the march means to me is solidarity, black people showing unity, people other than black showing solidarity with black unity. We don't necessarily need unity with them until we get ourselves better first. But the only thing the march shows to me is black unity, people standing up for each other, coming together for one cause, even if it's only temporary. Hopefully it's gonna be for a long thing of time. That's why I'm here to help try to build, get with some more other black people. Other than that, we just marching the march like we normally do. This thing that happens every day. I guarantee you right now somebody's getting beat by a cop or something like that. So other than that, I don't expect any change coming from this as police walk behind me. But that's what I'm here for. I'm here for black unity and black solidarity. I mean, my bro, how y'all doing? Look, bro. We trying to figure out what's this march here meaning, y'all over there. We see you got my brother right here got the Black Lives Matter shirt. They making their money.
You know, a lot of people been asking us this, and to me, we need to do something other than just march. You know, I've been out here since, you know, the Mike Brown verdict came around. We all understand it's messed up, but I feel like us as black people, we need to change our mentality. We need to change the way we think. We need to change the way we operate. We rather, you know, blame the system. Oh, the system is against us. We know that it's always been against us, but what we gonna do differently to change this? So I feel like we really need to educate ourselves. Yeah, we need to educate ourselves. We need to get on the street selling the white man drugs. And regardless if you ain't working at nowhere but McDonald's, you're working.
Yeah, right.
We need to educate and move forward and unite and stop being negative all the time. Because every other race, you know, will uplift their people. Yeah. When it comes to black people, we'll kill another brother, but we mad because the cops take our lives. But you gotta understand that they don't give a shit about our lives because we don't give a shit about it. Right. So it's like we gotta change how we thinking, man. And we gotta progress.
Y'all got y'all own movement or something like that?
Man, yo, take my number down because the hoodies, let me tell you what's going on with the hoodies. It's from my company called Highlight. And I was actually, me and my girl, I just moved up here from Florida. I'm sitting, I'm chilling. I've been protesting. I see people with the sign. I said, yo, you know what? Let me put this on a hoodie, sell it to the people. Now you got a black-owned business. And on top of that, let's donate a portion of the proceeds to the family. So that's what's going on with it, man. So, you know, everybody around here, oh, you $40, that's too expensive.
No, I didn't.
You know, we don't go in. We don't go in Macy's and negotiate on the North Face jacket. You feel me? So you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like we need to negotiate with our black-owned businesses. We need to pay because we gotta understand they gotta pay more anyway.
The label is Major Hits.
Yo, you get the info. Get the info.
Major Hits. That's MAYJAHITZENT. And then you got Rags, Riches and Good Sex clothing line. You can look that up at ragsapparel.com, majorhitsentertainment.com. You could check me out on iTunes, MD, featuring Just Dollars, called One Night.
I'm Ken Hughes. Instagram is a gift. The number 2, the world 89. Follow me, man. High Life. We need to start a movement. People stick together.
MD
Yo, I want one of y'all to get this video.
Get this video too. See my man right there? They're trying to force us, but the people control the street.